about some of these gigs that are coming up. And one band that I'm very, very excited about, Arctic Monkeys, are back.
Arctic Monkeys are back. They've just released the album last year in October called The Car. I was one of the few that didn't quite get into the car, as it were. And I'm interested. So they're playing in June. It was originally scheduled for Malahide Castle, but it's now moved to Marley Park, and no one knows why that is. But just having listened to the new album, I'll be interested to see how it's going to translate to a live. It's very laid back. It's very low key.
But will they be like? Are we going to hear Mardy Bum? Are we going to Are they going to bring out?
I think they're quite sometimes adverse to playing the bangers that we'd.
I hate that.
I know. I find it very
because they're always touring that album. There's so many here who are touring brand new albums, and they're only going to play that sort of music. They might dip into some of the older bits, but they are there just to promote that album and for you to.
Does Ozzy Osbourne have a new album?
There's no new album because there's so many. This is No More Tours Part 2. So the last No More Tours happened in 1992, and he said to himself, do you know what, actually I'd say Sharon said, right, let's off you go one more time. And he had brought No More Tours back in 2019 to do a second version of this, his second farewell tour. And then all of a sudden COVID hit, he got sick, so now it's back again and he's back on the road, and it is all the bangers. I think he is going to play a good bit of everything.
But he's got his Parkinson's is quite advanced now.
Yes.
You know, I saw pictures of him or video of him walking over Christmas, and you know, fair play to him for going out there. I think we were at the Phil Collins gig a few years ago where he had to sit down for the whole gig, obviously, because he was in so much pain. But, you know, it is going to be a different sort of performance.
It will be a different sort of performance. But I think even through all of Ozzy's ailments and his sickness and stuff like that, the man loves to perform. He loves to get up there.
His voice still sounds great as well.
Yeah, he still sounds great. So I think it will be a good one for the rock fans.
Seems an odd one when he's so ill. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be really impressive as well. Lizzo, now 3 Arena. I would say you have the tickets booked already, ready to rock. I mean, it's going to be classic. That's going to be rocking.
Well, we were at the Olympia gig.
Yes.
We, when was that?
2019.
And that is one of the most, how will I say, the atmosphere in the Olympia that night was almost dangerous.
It was.
Absolutely.
Never been at a gig like it in my entire life.
I was there. It was unbelievable.
It felt like the ground was lifting off. Everyone was so in sync with this person who performed out of her skin.
She's got that energy. I call her the big girl energy, and she says it herself, because she just wants to get out there and she wants to give us a good performance. I loved the 3 Olympia gig, but I'm hoping it translates to the same thing now being in the 3 Arena. It's such a bigger space. It's such a bigger deal. But I think that this person will bring such a whopper gig. This is the special tour. And again, it's because her latest album, her 4th album now, is out and she's touring that album. But you know that she's not just going to lend into just that album. She's going to go back through the last 3 albums before that.
Are you surprised she wouldn't play a bigger venue than 3?
I think that's where she's at. You know, I don't think would it work on an outdoor.
No.
Maybe at a festival at night, but I don't think she's quite. I think that's just the pitch perfect place to see her.
And I think that she likes that audience. I think she likes that kind of intimate audience for the moment between the Olympia and 3 Arena.
Now I think that she could have sold out more because, like, her tickets were gone so quickly.
Yeah,
they were hotcakes that time.
You couldn't.
Yeah, it was very intense getting those tickets. But I think she could have done 2 or 3 nights easy. Yeah.
Okay. I really think that she could have. People would love to have seen that. Now Tom Grennan. This is a guy, charming fella. His family is from Laois.
Yeah.
No, they're from Offaly, are they? Or are they Laois?
People are from Offaly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's been knocking around for a while. Great voice.
Great voice. I actually had the great privilege and honour of seeing Tom Grennan at a showcase gig about 4 or 5 years ago from Sony, who brought me into a little room and a few of us, and he was such a stand-up performer even then. Really nice fella. He's had some massive hits. Hundreds of millions of streams on Spotify, some of the biggest radio hits of last year. So it's time for him now. He's playing Fairview on the 30th.
Yeah, Fairview on the 30th
of June. It'll be a great gig. Like he knows how his way around a good old decent radio pop tune, which is rare these days. He's got a great voice, and it'll be a great one.
I mean, speaking of Irish acts as well, let's move on to Dermot Kennedy. I mean, he's got a couple of cracker events coming up as well. Limerick and in Dublin. Like,
there's Marley Park in July with the 2 dates, and then Limerick and Thomond Park for the 3 dates. And, like, look, we saw the popularity grow. The latest album, Sonder, has just taken over completely. This man has just taken over completely. And it's that typical Irish thing of, we love the fact that he's Irish. And this is a gig that even if you weren't a big, massive fan of Dermot Kennedy, you'd go with your mates, you'd get a few drinks in and you just sit there and listen to the music, because even if you didn't know the names of songs, you're going to go, you're going to enjoy the whole concert. He is going to, like, after 70,000 people at Electric Picnic in September last year, his star is just completely on the rise, on the rise, on the rise, and I think this is going to be a pinnacle of his career to play these gigs this year.
I saw him live, though, and it's a fantastic concert, but his music is quite somber, isn't it, though? Like, it wasn't, like,
everyone
rockin'.
at that gig will know every single word.
It's a
every
sing-along.
single song, and it's going to be a very, a communal atmosphere, because those who like him love him, and when they sing along, it's really going to get caught up in the sweeping emotion of Dermot Kennedy.
Pre-pandemic, I went to see a Gavin James gig, and Gavin would be the same. He's quite, somber.
Oh, yeah.
But that was one of the best gigs I've ever seen. Like, they make it what it is. They know it's somber music, so they add in the nuances around it. And I guarantee you, Ed Sheeran, they'll do the exact same thing here.
And when he brings out Mary Kennedy, his aunt.
Yes, and they do
just
dancing
for in the middle, and they go first.
She does a samba.
It just changes everything.
The body popping. I didn't know she was
changes Mary when she starts doing that.
so supple.
And then she does some judgment, and I'm not even joking, because Mary and Deirdre do sing together, her sister. They're
right.
his aunts. And I would actually genuinely love for them to come out during a
If I
gig
was to meet Dermot Kennedy, I'd say, listen, can I get an autograph
of your aunt.
of your Aunt Mary?
Because she's asked
Do you
about him all the
mind?
time.
Oh, exactly. When she's been on here, we always have to ask her about Dermot, and vice versa.
To be fair, we've spoken to him and we've like, how's your aunt? How's Mary? So
Does
that's
he
it.
qualify as a Nepo baby? I don't know if that's...
Come on, let's talk comeback gigs. There's two big ones, the Prodigy and Blur. Both coming back to Ireland.
Blur, great to see this. They haven't played in Ireland since 2015. They were promoting the album The Magic Whip.
Yes.
They've announced a big gig in Wembley on July the 8th. But they're coming here first. And look, Blur, probably the defining band of the Britpop era.
Yeah.
They absolutely won that battle with
Ahead
Oasis.
of Oasis.
Oh, look at him, the
Sorry, no,
disgust on
Tommy.
his
At the
face.
time, I was more. At the time, I was Blur, but actually looking back on it, I think actually.
I think
Oasis.
Blur, to my mind,
Okay.
you're a tall man, Tommy, and you could probably take me out in one fell swoop. But I've got low sense of gravity.
Fast feet,
I will
I can
fight you on
imagine.
this. Blur, Damon Albarn has proven himself to be, I think, the better and more prolific songwriter than Noel
With
Gallagher. Anyway,
Gorillaz
that
and
aside,
stuff.
they've got an incredible amount of hits, iconic, like Girls and Boys and all the rest.
And they play them.
And that's the great thing about Blur. They're not snobby about giving people what they want. It is very much being pitched as a comeback reunion. Let's celebrate our history.
Is that sold out? It's in Malahide Castle on June 24th.
Not quite yet.
Oasis would be sold out.
Oh, here we go. I do
would.
think a lot of it has to do with the transport links to Malahide for an awful lot of people. Like a friend of mine is coming up from Cork and she's like, where am I? Our friend in Malahide is, I think she's got 57 people staying with her.
Yeah.
Because it's like getting
That's
back
the
into
thing.
town. It's hard when it's
That was
Malahide.
before
and
the
Dublin.
concert.
Yeah, we're all
That's just to get accommodation in Dublin.
Just happens to have a gig now that happens
Well,
to
what
be
about the Prodigy then?
Prodigy
Because
are
Keith
back.
is not.
Keith Flint's
obviously-
passed away. This is their second gig now since Keith is gone, and I think that they're doing a really small set. They're only playing kind of Belfast, Cork and Dublin. And I think it was because when they came here the last time, they enjoyed the Irish audiences so much that they're back again to kind of do it all again in memory of Keith Flint, who passed away a couple of years back. So I think, again, they'll play the bangers. You can guarantee that's only going to be the songs you want to hear.
A man who he's got a timeshare in the country. Bruce Springsteen is back again this year.
Boss man is
Himself
back.
and Bob Dylan.
It's his first time. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about Bruce? I could play Bruce Springsteen every night, every song on my show on Today FM, and people wouldn't bat an eyelid because he is up there. He could be run for president of Ireland at this stage. His shows are the stuff of legend. They go on for about 4 days.
On average,
You've got to pitch up a tent, you've got to bring food. So it's the 5th, 7th and 9th in the RDS. He's going back to the RDS where he last played, and he recorded the gig for posterity because everyone that comes to Ireland wants that to be their DVD or their live album, because the Irish crowds are
I have
the
to
best
ask
in the
about
world.
Elton John though as well. Is this another farewell?
It's
like,
going around again. Yeah,
Right,
he's
okay.
literally, it's the farewell roundabout. So he's going to do this again for a while, I would say. But look, it's a whopper show. It's an absolutely unbelievable show. It's going to be, and then he's going to finish everything in Glastonbury, which is kind of iconic.
Yeah,
To finish your
when
career
Dolly
in-
Parton was in Glastonbury and all that kind of
Finish his career in Glastonbury, is he?
He's not going to. He's going to be back. Diddle dancing all
ding,
over the
ding,
place.
ding,
Pop star remix another one of his songs.
Yeah.
We'll hear it 19 times a day.
Yeah.
Elton John's not going nowhere.
He hasn't done a duet with Bieber yet or any of them, so
That'll be the next one,
that is going to happen. From Today FM, Ed Smith, thank you so much. And Paul Ryder, thank you so much for coming in. A pleasure.